Hi, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the Red Booth Show, where we get to know Estella Warren, the gorgeous Chanel model and movie star, and so much more. So come and join us.
Seem to understand. A shame you seemed an honest man, and all the fears you hold so dear will turn to whisper in your ear. And you know what they say might hurt you, and you know that it means so much, and you don't even feel it. Lost it all, and you don't seem the lying kind. A shame that I can read your mind, and all the things that I read there. Candlelit mother.
So hello, Estella. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming today. I think that you're amazing. I can't believe all the things that you have done and that you are doing right now. It's kind of impressive, I have to say.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I tend to try to. I think from the swimming, when I was a synchronized swimmer when I was young.
Right.
I was a synchronized swimmer for Canada for the Olympic team, and I was second in the world, and the Russian was always better. So I was like, okay.
You're like, damn it!
I moved back home when I was 12, and I went to sports school, and I did the whole thing, and I worked 6 hours a day, or 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was the soloist, which people don't understand all the time, because synchronized swimming, you think
of more multiple people,
right,
yeah.
like 8 or
right.
A team. But I was, it's like figure skating. Think about it that way.
Okay.
Figure skating.
Makes sense.
The Russian was always better, and I was second, and I was second, and I was second, and I trained 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Moved away from home, as I said, really young at 12. And I had this opportunity to be a model, and...
wasn't there Sports Illustrated, right?
That was, Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. But that wasn't from that. They asked me to just be a model, just be a model. And I'm like, that's a stupid job for stupid girls. And then they showed me how much money I'd get paid. And I was like, and maybe 1 or 2 jobs, And then I became really excited about it because it was a gateway to where I am now, which is essentially an artist. You put me in front of a computer, you put me in front of a phone, I will look at it and it will break. But you give me a paintbrush or you give me a knife, because I'm a chef also. That's another story, but I'm a chef and an actor, and you give me anything to create, I'm in.
Awesome.
But that's kind of how it's a short version of how I got here.
Well, honestly, what I've observed is that people who are creative in one aspect or extremely creative in one aspect are often very creative in many aspects. It's a certain personality type, it kind of goes with the territory, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise me. I know you mentioned to me that you do painting and all sorts of things like that. So it's really cool.
The artist part of me is somewhat new. It's about 2-3 years old, I guess. And I think it just came out of necessity, as did being a chef. I went to Cordon Bleu in Paris.
Wow.
And when I was modeling, it was when I was modeling for Chanel No5, and I would go to Paris, and they would have me there for one day for 2 months. But I have to stay for 2 months, and I only had to work for one day, excuse me. So...
that's amazing.
Well, yes and no, because I was bored out of my mind, because I'm used to swimming 6 to 8 hours a day, right?
Right.
So I'm going crazy. I'm like, what do I do now? And
6 to 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So did you start turning into like a mermaid, or
I never got the green hair, which I was very blessed with. that didn't happen, but I did get like your hands would get really cold, and the speed swimmers, the swimmers who did like freestyle butterfly back breast stroke. Right. Don't put that on air. I know you will now. They wanted it cold because they're always like moving, and we wanted it warm because we're doing
slow,
like long, languid kind of movements.
Right.
So I can't remember where we started in this
conversation,
this vein, in this direction.
I'm just
we're gonna go. We can just imagine.
I thought
you
of
can
mermaids
cut it later.
I was like mermaids. I don't know, but yeah. So yes, you were used to swimming 8 hours a day, and then you were stuck in Paris with nothing to do.
I was stuck in Paris, and I was quite young, and it was right after I got one job offer.
How old were you?
I was 16.
Okay.
And it was Odeden Kecherel, and it was Jean-Paul Goude, he was married to Grace Jones. He's done some of the biggest perfume campaigns in the world, like biggest.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't care. I'm like, no, a stupid job for stupid girls. And then I was like, wait, now I care. How much?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
shoot. So, you do what you have to do with that. I was living off $800 Canadian a month in total, like going to school, and I finished school. And so I was in Paris, and I went to the Cordon Bleu because I was bored, because I had too much time on my hands. I had, to sit there for Chanel, which was awesome.
Very awesome.
Which is awesome.
Like almost super rare for any girl to ever do that. So
but for months at a time, and they're just like, no, we just want you here just in case, because you're the ambassador. Because I've been the longest running Chanel No.5 girl ever, and I didn't have a name at all. Like I was just a swimmer.
You were just gorgeous.
No, I was just a swimmer, and like it was just like luck. That's where luck and work come into play. But that's another topic. And anyway, so I went to Cordon Bleu Paris, and they were really upset because they're like, well, don't get fat.
Oh, God. Because you're going to go eat, like you're like stuffing your
fat.
face.
You're like, you're going to Cordon Bleu. Like
French pastries.
Don't get fat. No, because you're a chef.
Right.
So I finished culinary school. Actually, I only finished 3 years ago. You have to do 400 hours of cooking on the line.
Wow.
Which means like you're a chef. So like you have to be like ready to go, and it's always hot, and it's only boys, and they steal your knives, and they bump you, and they play like jokes on you like crazy. And I cried every night when I went home. I swear.
Oh my God.
I swear. No, it was awful. And then one day they were like, all right.
You're in.
Yeah. You got it.
That's awesome. So you're out in Paris, you got the Chanel contract, you're doing modeling, and then how did you transition into the acting world?
Luc Besson was the director of the Chanel No.5 commercial. I got into acting as I do most of my artistic jobs, because somebody said that I was in the wrong job. I was doing the wrong thing, and Luc had said to me, Luc Besson is the director of the Chanel No.5 commercial. It was a long time ago. It was the Little Red Riding Hood with the wolves, and
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Totally remember that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Chanel numéro 5.
That's really Luc said to me, the second commercial he's like, you're miserable. And I'm like, yep.
You're bored out of your mind.
I'm miserable because I'm used to like working out like 8 hours. I'm doing, and that's how all of this comes about, is that I'm always going.
Yeah.
And he said, you're in the wrong job. You should go to LA. And so I went straight from Paris to LA. And
you were 16.
I was at that time I was 18.
Okay.
And I was living in New York at that time already also. So New York, Paris as well. So I would like just take all my stuff from New York, because you know when you're young and you have like too much bravado, it was too much. But I'm like, just go take all my stuff, just put it in a box and just ship it. Can you imagine somebody saying that now? Or me saying that now? That'd be awful. But I did it, and I went and I got 3 movies in 3 weeks. And my first 3 movies were Planet of the Apes, Kangaroo Jack, and Driven. It was Driven, Planet of the Apes, Kangaroo Jack.
Estella Warren represents, as a human, the more reverse Beauty and the Beast.
There's some humans that are slaves and trained to work with the apes, and some who kind of rebel and don't want to follow the constraints that the apes have put on the humans. And Dana was part of the rebellious crew.
What are you doing? I'm part of this. Go back. No! No! Estella's really a lot of fun to work with. She's one of those people that, you know, just that everybody just instantly gets along with. My sister, my strong sister.
She's incredibly intelligent and incredibly caring, and the kind of woman that I would hope to meet on this planet.
I have always kind of taken the role as a leader, and here comes Leo, who just took control right away. So I'm like, where did this guy come from?
What tribe are you from?
United States Air Force, I'm going back to it.
I obviously have a lot of animosity toward the apes because they've repressed us for so long as a society.
Rise when your master enters.
She's definitely very proactive.
It's over, there's no help coming.
You came.
And I got all of them, and I was gone
So-
for 2 years.
Did your modeling agency just sort of have a sister company that was for acting agencies, or like how
It was
did it?
all Luc Besson.
It was all from him.
All from Luc Besson.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I met with Tim Burton. I didn't even know that you had to memorize your lines. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, so what, so they're like, bring a monologue. I'm like, okay, I brought a couple. Which one do you want me? And they're like, what? He's like, okay, well, you know, like, do this one. I think that would be a really nice one to do. And I'm like, okay.
Oh,
And
no.
I read it. It's like
my
the
God.
worst. But in hindsight, it was a great thing because, you know, I learned a lot in those first 3 films, and they were big, very studio like driven films.
Yeah, they're huge films.
And then what do you do?
Tim Burton, you got to meet Tim Burton. You got to meet Mark Wahlberg. You got to meet.
Meet.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing when it was coming into the kissing scene. I was like laughing my butt off.
That's right.
I was
You
like,
got to kiss.
I know,
Mark
right?
Wahlberg. So that was that like your first big on camera kissing scene?
No, to be honest, there's a secret little movie which I'll tell you all about right now called Tangled that I did when I was a model in New York, and it was just, you know, it was like a small part, and I had to do a love scene with Jonathan Rhys-Meyer, and I was just like, this is weird. There's lights and there's people looking, and my skirt's high. I mean, I'm a model too, which, you know, a Victoria's Secrets and, you know, Sports Illustrated model.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to being like
Sexy
in my skivvies.
and yeah.
But maybe not sexy, but just in my skivvies. It depends on the day. But it was just really uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't think I want to do this. And then when Luke said 2 years later, oh, you should really be an actress because you've got that thing. And I'm like, what is that? What does that mean?
What are you doing?
Jesse, I was gonna take a bath.
Go. Yes.
No, look, I'm hot, I'm filthy, and I want to take a bath. You can stay, you can go. Makes no difference to me.
Well, I'm not leaving. I was here first.
Suit yourself. It's gorgeous. Hey, what are you looking at?
Well, you look first.
Well, yeah, I look.
So I look too, all right? Come near me, I'll kill you.
So nervous.
You have absolutely no effect on me.
No?
You think you do.
Just stating the obvious.
You are so not even my type. You could kiss me right now and it wouldn't make the slightest difference.
Nothing?
No, sorry.
Hey, well, I hate to break it to you, honey, but that kiss did absolutely nothing for me either.
Well, I'm not surprised if that's the best you can kiss.
Oh, you want to see the best I can kiss?
As a matter of fact, See? Nothing.
Same here, nothing.
Really?
All right, I'll admit it. This is the most sensual, romantic moment of my entire life. And now it's over.
And I'm like, because I was so young, I'm like, just blow like, and I'll go that way, like I'll do what you tell me to do.
Well, he obviously was right. I mean, you went here, came to Los Angeles and got 3 movies in 3 weeks. That's like unheard of.
I was fortunate. I was very fortunate. But then everything becomes like a stepping stone for, hopefully, for humans in general, like for people in general, to become bigger, better, more authentic, more down to earth, more well-rounded. And I wanted that. And I didn't understand why I was still like fussy about things all the time. And when I figured out that I needed another outlet that was just my own, that's when I started painting. And then when I started painting, the cooking came back in because I had my degree. So I was like, well, maybe I can do both. And then, things just start to become artistic. And that's when somebody says, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm an artist. Because in general, that's kind of it.
Yeah. And you do have a restaurant that you're actually coming out with soon, right?
Hopefully, there's a lot of red tape in Los Angeles for restaurants.
Yeah, I've definitely heard about that.
But the concept is great. The restaurant is small and unrecognizable, but what I really want in life. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that it works out. It's a restaurant concept that's very small, and hopefully people will come. But it's in Santa Monica, and it's very simple, and it's very French.
Do you have a name for it?
Yes, but I'm not going to talk about it until it's done because I've done this before.
Okay.
Well, that's called ATE, ATE, but like with an 8 through it, through the middle
cute.
of the T. So everything is about 8s because 8's my favorite number.
Cool.
And
all right.
So there's 8 ingredients, there's 8 things, there's a whole bunch of different 8s.
Nice. Okay, well, go and check out the new restaurant 8 that's coming out. And also, you are still doing acting, and you have movies coming out, and there was one that you recently did where, go ahead.
Undateable John is this film that I did. It was actually almost a year ago now that I played Joan Jett. And it's her kind of...
I love Joan Jett.
Who doesn't love Joan Jett?
Yeah,
like, Joan
exactly.
is like the bomb.
Yeah.
And she's really cool, and this great woman, Cynthia Posner, wrote the script with her, and it's almost her version of The Runaways, but it's like her story. But it's a very dark comedy. It's funny. And I don't get to play comedy a lot. I'm really good at crying on cue. I'm really good at like doing all the emotional stuff kind of thing. But
wow.
This one is like comedy, and it was so much fun. And I got to sing with her. I got to sing in the movie, and it was with Tom Arnold and Margaret Cho and Daryl Hannah and
I love
John Philbin, and yeah, she's just amazing. And it was really, really like a great experience. And then I just had a film that came out on Netflix called Nocturna, where I was like the Queen Vampiress.
Nice.
And
so you got to play scary.
Well, I got to like have fun with it, because when you're doing that kind of character, you don't have to worry about the as much of the meat of the character as you do as much as like the the twistedness of it. So it's a little bit more like we can like it's like cooking. It's like, let's see what we can do with this.
You're gonna try doing something like really sort of creepy and like, but obviously beautiful too at the same time. That must have been really fun.
I don't know. I had like fake teeth. Like they made these like vampire teeth, and the eyes were actually really painful because you have to put these like hard contacts in that make your eyes look like bright blue, white, kind of really strong.
Right.
And then you have the teeth, and then there are children, and then there are sword fights, and there are candles, and I'm horribly afraid of fire. So the whole mix was just like, okay, remember that there are children here. Don't swear. Don't, like, don't actually bite them because you have these long teeth because you're supposed to be biting their necks, and,
Yeah.
It was funny. It was cool. I think it's a great film. I think it's a really good horror film. It's a really strong.
I think I've definitely seen that on Netflix. So, definitely go and check that out. And also her amazing part in Joan Jett where she cuts her own hair.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So your plans for the future, you obviously have this restaurant. Well, I was thinking that it would be really cool for you to give some aspiring actresses and artists some advice as to how you think it would be best to get into this business. You're so successful. You've had the Chanel contract. You've had big movies. It's amazing.
No, I'm not though. That's not the reason why I ended up doing it. The reason why I did it at the beginning was for the wrong reason. The reason why I started modeling was for the wrong reason. It was for money.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that's a great paycheck. And I said to myself before, I even said in the interview, that's a stupid job for Supergirls. It's not a stupid job for Supergirls at all.
Right.
It's a very difficult job. However, it wasn't the job for me.
Right.
The job for me
It is actually a very difficult job, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally. We're both from the Commonwealth, we're countries, or Commonwealth countries, where I'm Canadian, Australian, English.
Yes.
Australian.
Yes, and now we've been in LA for a long time.
Right. And so it's like, well, to be honest, you've got to do what you want to do, what your passion is. If that's your passion, go for it. Yeah. Do it. Do everything you can and learn about it. And don't go into anything without having a background check. Kind of not like the background check on the internet, because I don't know what an internet kind of background check does, but a background check of like, what have they done before? Do you love their work? Do you want to work with them? Are you just like doing it because, as I said, I think before, like, is the wind blowing you in a certain direction and you feel like you should go that way? Or do you really want to do this? And when you really want something, like with the restaurant, with the acting like right now where I am with my acting, I choose roles where I don't ever want to play the lead. I want to be like one of 8 like really great cast members, so that you can work off each other, because it's fun. It's like a banter, and it's the same in a kitchen. It's the same thing. It's like you want one of like 8 great chefs, like I know I'm playing on 8 now, but that way it just came in. So it's just like, you want to be one of a group. You want to be a team. You want to be a part of a team, and you want to like lift other people up and be giving something back to the community in some way, shape, or form, as well as fulfilling your dream.
Definitely. Okay, so basically
that's your advice. Good luck with that one.
That's good advice. What I get from all of that...
Don't do it.
It's definitely true. What I get from that is that you need to find what you're passionate about, basically. Mm-hmm. And then follow. And I think it's a good point to look into who it is you're going to be working with as to what the projects they've done and things like that. Because sometimes you could show up and be like, oh, actually, I really don't like this. Mm-hmm. But if it's something that you really do want to be in, then you're going to be even more determined and be more enthusiastic. And, I guess, right?
Totally. You got it. Cool. Your point. You're spot on.
Well, cool. So I'm so excited to have you here today. What clips do there any cool clips we could play of you in some of your movies?
Well, yes. I mean, I'm sure you can get some stuff from Nocturna that just came out on Netflix. So that's like a Netflix movie.
Okay, great.
I'm producing a film that in New Orleans right now. That's another horror film. New Orleans and I just kind of have this love-hate relationship where I love it, and then I'm like, yeah. Love it.
It's a great place to do a horror movie, right?
It's awesome. It's so cool. And the people there are stellar. They're so nice. And they're really very warm and like Canadian in my mind, because they're just like, oh, come on in, have some food, you know, come on.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Like, I'm like, come into my home, eat, do something to eat, do something fun, like play some music, you know. And it's really fun. But I can't remember what
You're producing you're producing a movie there, which is awesome, by the way. Female producers, go female producers.
I don't know. We'll see.
So you're doing a feature in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing, and then the next thing coming up is the restaurant, and I have another film that I'm producing the 2 films actually, and then there's the sequel to Nocturna and a sequel to Undateable John.
Nice.
Which I don't want to be the sequel queen, but if that's my that's what I have to be to get by, I will take it with bells on.
All right. You totally can. And nowadays the sequels are, you know, people are doing really cool sequels. So you've got some great movies that are coming up that you're producing, which is really exciting. And I have to say, I fully support that, you as a female producer.
Thank you.
And we have your restaurant coming up. And, you know, I just want to say that I'm really excited for you and for everything that you've done. And it's very inspiring. And I, you know, hope people get to come and eat with you soon.
I hope they do too. I hope you come and eat with me.
I will definitely come.
There's
and eat.
Not that many tables at this restaurant, so you have to
Yeah.
You have to have an in. I think you have an in now.
Nice.
Because you're so pretty.
You are gorgeous. She's so humble about it, and she's so gorgeous. Anyways, thank you so much for being here today.
I really
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Estella Warren on
The Red Booth.
Yay!